Göran.
Hello.
Hi there, Brett.
Hello.
No, seems to have changed in Zoom how things are shared. Just looking for how to do it the right way.
Hello.
That's the thing I intended to do, I think. So if we do this, do you see my sharing now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So I share the web page, right, for the EMEA document. Or am I sharing the whole screen? No? This is confusing.
Looks like you're just sharing the one page, and now I have no clue what happened, and now we're back to the one page.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Hi, Alander. Welcome. So, Andrea will not join today. He had something else he needed to attend to. So it's us. Let's see who else will join. Welcome anyway to the CDEvents workgroup meeting. It's April 22nd, and sign yourselves in. What is it now? It's C+2 nowadays. I always forget where I am. I guess we have the link already to the minutes. Yeah, so no new attendees, no action items really that we noted as action items last time. We talked about this already last time, but that was the day before it was announced. So last week it was announced the version 0.4. So the blog post we created there, some of us, is out now. Feel free to read it and do whatever. So now it's up to us to do some post activities. We know we need to update the SDKs, for example. We have the POCs that we need to update. We haven't been very good at updating those for each release previously, so let's see if we manage this time. I don't have any plans myself to work on any of the either SDK or POC updates at this moment. I don't know, the Java SDK, Jalander or Adam, is that something you will work on, or how is it?
Yes, that's in our backlog to pick it next. So we'll be working on that, yeah, on Java SDK.
Yeah, good. And the rest we don't really know. I think Andrea is on top of the Go SDK, but the others, I don't know if we will have anyone working on those really in this nearby time frame. But we have also the POC, the visualization POC that you were creating, Jalander. that will also be updated, or is it so? You plan to do that?
Yeah, so I think visualization POC is like it's actually derived from the CDEvents POC again. So we need to update CDEvents POC and the
quite
visualization
powerful.
POC all together. I mean, like, yeah, so CDEvents POC is needed to upgrade it first. With that's even like when we have created with 0.2 version of spec, so we have some backlogs in our board, but so we haven't worked on 0.2 upgrade at least, and now we need to work on 0.4. So I think, yeah, so we have some backlog even upgrading CDEvents POC and visualization, that area.
I'm thinking I haven't heard too many people requesting upgrades to our POCs recently. I think though it's very good if we would have updated or up-to-date POCs, and obviously SDKs need to be updated, but also the POCs to be able to spin up your own environment and to be able to demo things easily. So I think it's very good to have them, even though I haven't heard the strict requirements from anyone really to have us focus on that at the moment. So however, the SDKs should go first, I think, and then the POC would be very good to get updated as well, so we can see them with the latest version of the spec. I didn't note any other post 0.4 activities, but there are some things in the roadmap, and I'm a bit, I don't know, embarrassed. We haven't really updated these projects too well recently. I did some updates now just before the meeting to have some more shape on this, because it seems that we still have some more things to do on 0.4. This is the release issue that is in the community repo, and what's missing there is that we haven't ticked off the SDK updates. So in that issue, we intend to keep that issue open until we have updated the SDKs. We'll see how that plays out. Then we had some other issues in different areas that we earlier intended to have part of the 0.4 release, but we haven't really focused on this lately. This one about DORA metrics is in progress, it seems, but I don't know if anything has happened to it recently, so I doubt that this will be happening very soon. So let's just hope for the future that we are better in tracking these things and bringing them into finished state. There are actually also more issues in different projects marked with milestone 0.4. I saw that, but let's take one example, I think. Where we go to the spec repo again, I think there are some things there on the 0.4 milestone. If I find it. There. Well, there's nothing open really in the spec, so that's clean. But there might be things in other projects in GitHub that have 0.4 milestone on them. Anyway, looking at 0.5, I started to populate this as well. We actually moved some things from 0.4 some time ago. And now last week we talked about that we should probably focus on more cleanup activities and consistency, conformance, those things. So some of the things that are here now in the project here might not fit anymore. We'll see. But I added a few from Ben. So for example, let's see, he proposed, which was it now? This one, ensure consistency among camel case versus snake case. So there's a pull request connected to this one, which we think should be part of 0.5 release. Then we also have this predicates that Ben think we might not need. And there's a discussion in this issue, so if you're interested in that, please join that discussion there. And some others. So that's the state of things. Is there anything you would like to raise as high priority for either post 0.4 activities or 0.5 activities. Things that you see missing or that we should focus on first.
I have one question on the 0.4 ML. So how do we track like the users of the SDKs are in which version right now? Do we need to track somewhere here in CDEvents who is the user? Like let's say for Java SDK, Spinnaker, or Flux, or Tecton, or Captain. So which SDK version they are using, and who will make sure that they'll upgrade to the latest one?
When you say who, you mean what tool, right? Or
Yeah,
I mean, not what
the users.
but rather what tool is up on which version of the SDK.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes sense, and it would make sense to have it in this GitHub project, I think, as a dedicated issue for each of these different tools. I think, or would you see it the other way around, that we should track it from the spec perspective, what tools have been updated? I think it could maybe be hard to see all tools that implement CDEvents, so we might miss things. I'm not sure if we should have that dependency from the CDEvent spec repo into the other tools, but rather the other way around. But then, yeah, we would need to go into all of these tools and see where are they.
Yeah, so maybe here it makes sense at a product level or tool level in CDEvents tools. Yeah, I think.
So maybe we should actually have had a we haven't finished 0.4 yet, really. I mean, we have still the SDKs to do. So we could, of course, add there to also create an issue in each of these different tools to upgrade to the latest version, so that it's visible to the maintainers of that tool, at least, to that there is a new release and that they should focus on or consider upgrading. Maybe that's actually a good thing to do. I can add this comment at least on this release issue here. This issue. This one here. First, click those. I get this. What's here? So, yeah. Okay. Thanks for that comment, Alander. Are we satisfied with that so far? So, you can maybe write something about that as well here then. Let's leave that for there. Then. But anything about the 0.4, sorry, 0.5 plans then? Do we still agree on this in this meeting, that it's good to focus on this, or is it some specific feature you would like to see added? No, then I guess we keep that for now. That's all I actually prepared to say about the existing and coming releases of CDEvents. We could look into specific features as well later on, but maybe before that we can go on with the rest of the agenda that I prepared. It shouldn't be too much to talk about maybe, but just so we get through it. I wanted to note some takeaways from the CDCon that was last week in Seattle. I wasn't there myself, unfortunately, but I know Andrea was there. And I heard it was quite a busy conference and there were some good takeaways, but Andrea hadn't put his thoughts together on it yet. He intended to write down some thoughts, but that's not yet done. So I don't have anything to share really. And unfortunately, it wasn't possible to join remotely. It was said on the Open Source Summit homepage that it should be possible to access the sessions live on YouTube, but that never happened. I was looking for it, but nothing happened there. So I could follow some of the keynotes, which was quite interesting. Maybe not so much from CDEvents perspective, but anyway. But the rest of the sessions were not available as long as I could see, at least in the Open Source Summit. And none of you were there, right? So we don't know yet.
Yeah, it wasn't there. They they didn't accept my papers, even though I've got lots of friends in the CD Foundation.
Well,
I got nothing.
Okay.
I think Ben and I joked about the fact that they get thousands of submissions and
Yeah.
So
it's quite a bunch. Huh? So maybe you can do a new try when it comes to KubeCon in Salt Lake City.
that one's even bigger than
it's bigger, yeah, sure, but who knows?
Who knows, right? Yeah.
If you want to stay in the US, of course, for conferences. Otherwise, before that, we have the Open Source Summit also in Europe, in Austria, Vienna, coming up in September, and it's closing up now next week already for CFP on the Open Source Summit itself, the main event. There will also be a co-located CD, Continuous Delivery Mini Summit, half a day planned for the day just after this conference ends. But there is no CFP announced yet for that part, and I talked to or discussed with Roxanne on Continuous Delivery Foundation recently, and it seems that the group is not set yet either for, or there is no chairman really for the CFP handling. So yes, that's why it hasn't been announced yet. But I know in Yalander, for example, you have discussed, we have thought of proposing something for the OSS, right? Is it something you want to do here or?
So is that like CFP for CD Mini Summit is different than what we have like OSS as a global?
Yeah, I think that's how I see it, that I understand at least. So I think there will be a separate program committee for the CD Summit, CD Mini Summit itself, and it will have its own CFP. At least how I understood it. But I might have misunderstood it, of course. I don't know what happens if we try to create a call for proposals here. Should you then set co-located event, or is it just do you say here if you want to do it for a co-located event as well? Oh. Stored. No, I haven't. And I can't find it right now, so let's not do it there. No, I was thinking if it's possible to see there in the CFP process. If that's, have you seen that, Jalander, or you just thought it was for the CDCon, or sorry, for the full OSS, also for the CD Mini Summit?
Yeah, so we have a plan initially like to submit a talk for this one at least like to talk about how you integrate CDEvents with different CI/CD tools or technologies. So I think that's one topic we are planning to submit a proposal for. And also wanted to know like if anyone is interested or already submitting any proposals for like just talk about like in general what is CDEvents and how CDEvents will enable interoperability, or like what CDEvents exactly offering to the CI/CD world. Yeah, so we have like two topics in mind, but we wanted to discuss also with the members like who interested in what, like if anyone interested in any of the topics, or we can prepare a content and submit proposals, because it's also reaching a deadline soon, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very soon for the OSS CFP at least. So
I'm not sure like if it is for CD minute, because like anyway talking about CDEvents comes under CD minute summit, but not sure like if it is a separate proposal, or we'll go through at least submit a proposal process, and we'll see like if there is any selection for CD summit or something. So we'll go through that once and see and let you know. Well, so if we'll see how that process is.
Let's see if CD mini summit is part of this list here, or if it's a separate thing. No, it's not mentioned here under this, like, really co-located events, right? As far as I can see. At that page, that it is mentioned here as a co-located event. But I'm not sure how that relates really to, I can't say. But I understood from Roxanne that there will be a separate CFP for the CD mini summit. I might still be wrong with it, but anyway, that will be just a short thing, just the afternoon there. So they will not be able to fit too many presentations. And I think it will make sense to try to reach the full OSS, what should I say, auditorium or audience with the presentations. I think we should. It could be good to propose something there to spread the word about CDEvents outside the CD Foundation community itself. So I would look forward to seeing a proposal there. I wonder if you manage to set something together, and I might be able to help you as well to put something together. We can maybe discuss that offline a bit if you want. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Then when it comes to KubeCon North America, the CFP is quite far off still, so it's almost two months there, so there's no rush. But anyway, good to start thinking about it, Brett, to create a good proposal so you get through.
Yeah. Definitely feel like this season it's need to step up the game. The stuff we were talking about last year, everybody's talked about, and now it's time to find something new that's hot to talk about.
You mean after AI?
Well, yeah, I mean, it does mean AI. I mean, what else would it mean? I mean, it's like I'm putting together my 2 AI presentations now. So,
okay,
yeah, it is what it is, right?
I heard actually one of the keynotes from Open Source Summit was where Linus Torvalds talked about, well, the future or the current state of Linux and those things, of course. And he got the question what his thoughts are on generative AI, and he laughed quite loudly and said he was a bit concerned that there was such a buzz around it. He was a bit disturbed by that actually. So he thought that was
it's it kind of feels like the blockchain. The difference is I'm not sure this one's gonna I don't think this one's gonna calm down like blockchain, blockchain's not the greatest idea. But this one is still coming for our resources and our electricity and.
Oh yeah. I mean, it has been around since, I don't know, the 80s or something like that. And then now all of a sudden we have all the compute power needed to make it reality. And of course it will stay up in some way or another.
Yeah.
So probably will have it. But
yeah, the two talks I've got one's kind of funny. It's I generated it's how to use AI to generate your workshop. And that's more of a delve into like theory and some other stuff about large language models. But the AI security one I'm working on is like, you really shouldn't be afraid of the generative AI generated code. What you should be afraid of are the random models you're pulling off the internet. And that's kind of my elevator speech. So those are some of the things that I'm going to cover in those. I've been talking to Sneak pretty heavy about what their plans are, and how we can, like, what are they working towards, and how do I apply that on my side of the house. So it's been pretty interesting. And when I say talking to Sneak, I'm not talking, I had to get past the product management and get in and get some of their real like developers to talk to. So that's what my goal is about the next month, is to have at least 2 more meetings with Sneak on and talk to like their actual developers that are actually working on what they're planning on doing. They're experts, so to speak, right?
So why not create a proposal together with them for the KubeCon?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And try to bring in some CDEvents in the discussion as well of your home.
Well, when you run these scans and you log these models, you need to store the information somewhere, and what better place to store it than CDEvents, right?
Could be the place.
No, I can tie anything back into an event-driven architecture. Emil, that's still my specialty. Just we will definitely get some. We probably need Andrea was working on the custom types, but we probably ought to go ahead and start thinking about an AI, what we want around AI. I guess I'll take that as a action item in my copious amounts of free
for the
time.
protocol itself, or for like more surrounding tools and how to leverage on events in an AI system, or
Yeah, there's a couple angles we could take on that. I have to think about it.
I mean, we need to have something about AI in our notes, so why not?
Yeah. It seriously is not going away.
Yeah. No, it will stay, of course. But I'm not sure that if you just add the AI term in your heading for a CFP to KubeCon, it might not help next time. It might have helped this spring, but might not help in the autumn too.
Yeah, because everyone's going to have it. There's got to be an angle, right?
So
I can't just get up.
They throw it in the trashes if it actually contains AI, because they think you just do it for the buzz.
Right.
Yeah.
This is definitely, I definitely have to have an angle on it. So yeah, that's the plan, right?
Yeah.
That's why I haven't put together quite the submission yet, because currently, like, the AI security would be until I get some more intel on what we're going to do about these models off the internet. It just reads the presentation would read like a blog that you've already read, right? So you just basically barf out the OWASP top 10 AI things for large language models, and then you just be a little up there parroting. So I gotta get an angle together. That's part of it.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, and then I've got to double down on my workshop. So like the next couple of weeks, I got to finish this workshop, because my dates are rolling up on me. Nothing like a deadline to force you to get stuff done, right? A couple of quick updates. Well, there's no real updates on that. I have been busy with like real work, the one that pays me. The Event Provenance Registry workshop is, I'm gotten to the point where I'm correcting spelling, Emil. So that's pretty good, right? Now you're starting to clean up and correct spelling. I've got the Python client almost done. I did that yesterday. That was wonderful when you finally get a client working and it's like, oh, look, I can do stuff with this client. Because, GraphQL and curl is brutal. So yeah, coming along.
Mm.
Got another project that I've been doing that maybe I can figure out how CDEvents can relate to that one too. And that's a health score for your project. You know how you have the OpenSSF scorecard?
Yeah.
And so the OpenSSF scorecard is pretty good. They're excellent what they've gone through and the work they've done around what your checkboxes should be for your third-party libraries.
Mhm.
And Sneak's got a thing where they are able to tell you the health of all the third-party libraries that you have. They deprecated it, so I got a meeting with them, that side of the Sneak house, to go find out what the heck they're going to do with all that information and why they're deprecating it and why we can't. It's called Sneak Advisory, and basically, like, one of the cool features they had was you could take your Go mod file and just upload it, and it would give you a scorecard on all of your dependencies from your Go mod. And so I'm working on a POC in house where I'm going to leverage a whole bunch of the databases on the internet that have this type of stuff. There's deps.dev from Google. Sonatype's got OpenSSS stuff. Sneak has one. There's ecosystems. There's lots of places you get information on these third-party libraries. And I'm going to work with Sneak to talk about what we're going to do about rolling up a project health from your third-party library perspective in-house. And then we would, obviously there'd be an event, right? Because I would go through and evaluate the project and we generate an event with a score in it. And then, maybe we flag that project in-house as, risk. And then we start talking about risk assessment and all those other stuff. So yeah, that's another project I've got going on. But again, I've got so much free time, that I just came back from Vegas last week. We had so while you guys had the cool CDCon going on in Seattle, I was in Vegas for SaaS Innovate, talking to customers and stuff like that. So AI is definitely like on everybody's brain.
Yeah.
So yep. Anyway.
Yeah, we actually had an internal conference in Ericsson last week as well, and there was, I think it was 10 different tracks or something there, and one track was AI, more or less, and it's gathered maybe 80-90% of all people in that tracks alone. So yeah, it's everywhere.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else from anyone?
I'm gonna go walk my dog.
Yeah. So good talking to you today. See you next time.
Yep. See you guys next
Bye-bye.
week.
See you.
Later.
Bye.
See you.